across Africa and beyond.
Hello and welcome to Buja Street Live News Hour. I am Grace Samsa.
JAMB News Hour, across Africa and beyond.
Nigeria is observing 7 days of national mourning following the death of former President Muhammadu Buhari. The 82-year-old leader passed away on Sunday, July 13, 2025, in a London hospital after a prolonged illness. President Bola Tinubu has ordered flags to fly at half-mast nationwide and announced a state burial in Buhari's hometown of Dara, Katsina State. Katsina has also declared a work-free day in its honor. Tributes have poured in from political figures and global leaders alike, remembering Buhari as a patriot, soldier, and statesman who served both as military head of state and as a democratically elected president.
Muhammadu Buhari was a military dictator turned Democrat. In 2015, he took the oath of office as a president elected by the people. And as the first presidential candidate to defeat a sitting leader, it was a remarkable moment in the country's history. It was in 1983 that he first ruled the country, taking power in a coup. As a young officer, he rapidly rose through the army ranks during a time when Nigeria was experiencing frequent regime changes. When he came to power, the economy was in turmoil and official corruption was rampant. He vowed to come down hard.
Fraud, indiscipline, corruption, squandermania.
His time in power is best remembered for campaigns against what he called squandermania, but also for human rights abuses. But the general who promised to clean up the system didn't last long. After 20 months, he was himself ousted in a coup. It was only after the restoration of democracy in Nigeria at the turn of the century that Muhammadu Buhari once again became a prominent figure in public life. Never a natural politician, he was seen as aloof and austere, but he retained a reputation for personal honesty, a rare feat for a politician in Nigeria.
Corruption has virtually been developed into a culture in Nigeria. From the day we are sworn in as a government, anybody who abuses trust will be called to account.
After 3 failed attempts, he was elected the country's leader for 2 consecutive terms. His time in office coincided with a slump in global oil prices and the country's worst economic crisis in decades. His administration also came under fire for its handling of insecurity. Whilst campaigning, he promised to defeat the extremist group Boko Haram. He had some success. Security improved in the northeast of the country, and he subsequently oversaw the return of over 100 out of nearly 300 schoolgirls kidnapped in Chibok in 2014. But after a spate of recent attacks in Borno State, Boko Haram remains an ever-present threat to the country. And under Buhari's watch, armed forces were accused of human rights abuses, like opening fire on anti-police brutality protesters at the Lekki toll gate in Lagos in October 2020. To his critics, his rigid military style and economic policies did more harm than good. But to his supporters, he was a...
We are mourning our former president, Muhammadu Buhari. As life, we must always pay, or everyone will pay the supreme price. He has done his best for the nation. He served as a military head of state and also as a civilian president. No matter what happened during his tenure, he did his best. So, as a nation, we should mourn his demise. Dobby's group, we send our own condolence Message to the family of Muhammadu Buhari. We condole with them, and we pray that God will give them the fortitude to bear the loss and also forgive his sin as he rests in the bosom of the Lord Almighty. To all Nigerians, this is not time to lay blames, accuse, or castigate him. This time to show sober reflection and know that we are all human. We are bound to make mistakes. So we should not look at his mistake, but look at his person and this time that is gone, to wish the family, to pray for him and the family. And I know that.
Sadly, we heard that our past president has died. It's a very sad one to our country, Nigeria. Personally, I felt for the family, and I wish the family God's strength to bear the loss. Well, he has achieved his dream as a person. He has fulfilled his dream on earth, and I really feel sad for the country to lose a man like that. But we, as for me personally, his achievement is for himself. We felt very sad, but in the other way, we are happy that he has lived to rest. Despite all the stagger, all the talks we've had about his death, finally, the news has come out that he has finally died, and we thank God that there is still peace in the country, and we pray that God should grant his dead and his family the grace to bear the loss. That's all I can say. And
Bridge Afrique magazine, BAM, is the powerful force to showcase your business to the world. Is your advert on the next edition yet? Make haste and connect with any of our coordinators across the world. One Love, www.bridgeafriquemagazine.net.
Hello, my name is Nancy Obilite. I'm the head coach of Panacea Ville International. At Panacea Ville, what drives us is to help couples have a thriving relationship, a relationship that is harmonious and also gives them room to be accomplished in whatever endeavor they choose in the world. We do this by focusing on three major areas. First is to work with couples who have hit the road and are finding it difficult to agree on a lot of things. They've hit the rocks and are unsure of how to turn the tides in their relationship. We help them through our intervention coaching to come back to a place of fulfillment and happiness. Then we also work with couples in their first decade to ensure that they establish the fundamental principles that will carry them through their relationship and ensure that they are happy and fulfilled. Finally, we work with intending couples that are just coming into the marriage arena to create and establish principles in their relationship so that they would have a fulfilling life together as a couple. So what are you waiting for? Join our community, begin to engage. There's a lot of learning happening here. Partner with us so that together we can make the world a better place, one family at a time.
BAM News Hour, across Africa and beyond.
In political development ahead of the 2027 general election, former Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai has teamed up with other leading opposition figures, including former President Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amici, Umar Aldo, and representatives of Labour Party candidates Peter Obi to launch the All Democratic Alliance (ADA). The coalition has formally applied for registration with the Independent National Electoral Commission, aiming to present a united front against the ruling APC. El-Rufai, who recently defected from the APC to the Social Democratic Party, says ADA may serve as a backup platform if the adopted vehicle, the African Democratic Congress, faces internal crisis or government interference. Coalition leaders have agreed to leave their legacy parties if consensus is reached on using ADA as their joint platform. Here's our correspondent view on this subject matter.
That's like on the streets, you get like the philosophy of the common man is about politics is in Nigeria is it's just circulation of people, the same people, you know, and in the long run it's not going to work, you know. And the truth is that the internet has changed the demography of politics in Nigeria. You can see from the last election, and I think the party system is wearing off. People want change; they desperately need it, and their request is that the political elites are the one now bending to the people because the power is with the people. So the new ADA party, I don't see it different from other parties because we have is it Atiku, Buhari, Atiku and El-Rufai. It doesn't change. All that is important is the credibility of track record. That's it. Credibility of track record. If you have a track record of credibility, people will go. You don't need to even force people. You don't need to induce them to change your party. If you have credibility of track record and your hands are clean, people will vote you. They vote you. I'm saying this from the data that I've gathered from the common man. That's the truth. So the common man is not saying.
Bridge Afrique Magazine is the award-winning and globally respected publication for authoritative information regarding business potentials and opportunities in Africa of interest to China and beyond. Your business doesn't get to Africa if it's not on Bridge Afrique Magazine. We are the official magazine of Ethiopian Airlines. What are you waiting for? You can contact us +861 391894 3324. Your business is next.
At SkyMaxi Global Sourcing and Distribution Company, we render professional help to our clients to locate factories, get competitive prices, follow up on products sourced inspection, ensuring quality and express product delivery to our clients. We are your direct.
If I had to live my life without you near me, the days would all be empty.
Yayugu Villa et Ligny Amusement Park dans la province de Shandong, en Chine, offre une zone de retraite surréaliste au milieu des paysages naturels. Cette villa offre une oasis tranquille avec des verdures luxuriantes, des ruisseaux cristallins, des vues à couper le souffle et une variété d'hébergements de luxe. Le parc dispose de pistes à roulettes, de diapositives et d'espaces thématiques. Yayugu Villa offre aux voyageurs une occasion unique de se plonger dans la beauté naturelle de la campagne chinoise. Venez vous détendre dans ce lieu surréaliste et ne manquez pas ce cadeau de vie naturelle. Plus d'informations sont affichées sur votre écran.
across Africa and beyond.
The rate of divorce is skyrocketing by the day. However, we have a marriage counselor which is going to help us in this subject matter, which is salvaging the alarming rate of divorce. Let me welcome Mrs. Nancy Oblate.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you, ma'am. All right, ma'am, please just can you just tell us more about what you do as a counselor? Just a brief please.
Okay, so my name is Nancy Oblate. I'm a marriage coach. And basically what we do is that we work with couples who are struggling to make their relationship work, who have challenges and they don't know how to turn back the hands of time in terms of coming back to stability, coming back to peace, coming back to harmony. So we work with them to help them find love again, to help them reconnect and all. Then we also work with people who are just coming into the marriage arena. They have started their marriage and they want to get it right from the onset, that sets the right principles, sets the right foundation so that their relationship can grow and thrive. And then finally, we work with intending couples, those who are preparing for their marriage, to help them get it right from the start, because usually it's easier to start right than to do remedial work.
Thank you so much for that. So now, Ma, just a few questions for you. From your experience, what do you see as the most common root causes behind the rising rate of divorce?
So with everything that has to do with humans, is a multifaceted thing, because human beings are multifaceted. To narrow it down to an exact meaning would be difficult. However, there are certain things that make it really challenging for couples to stay together. And we have what they fight about. That's the subject matter they fight about. Those are not as important as how they handle conflict. So a couple can fight about money, and their fight about finance can lead to disagreement, which eventually brings down the relationship. Or they could fight about money still and find connection in their fight, and their relationship gets stronger. So what they fight about is not really as important as how they approach each other. So one of the things that you find as a core reason for marriage coming to an end is unrealistic expectations or unspoken expectations. So when we are talking about unrealistic expectations, we are talking about expectations that the other person is not able to meet, either because it is way out of the realm of possibility for that person, or because of the person's upbringing, their own model of the world, that expectation, they cannot meet it. Many of us come into marriage, especially with the advent or with movies. So we come into marriage expecting that those songs we sing will see marriage exactly as those songs paint marriage. We have expectations that, if not checked, would pull down our relationship because they are unrealistic. And then also the fact that we are marrying another person who did not grow where we grew, who did not have the parents that we had to raise him, who did not have the experience that we have had in life, and who is even different. So the way they interpret and view life is different. Some of these expectations will be unrealistic for that particular person, even if it is realistic for others. So that's one. Then uncommunicated expectations. This is saying that I have desires, I have passions for what I want my marriage to be, but I do not tell the other person. The other person is unaware of these things. And because they are unaware, they cannot meet an expectation they don't know exists. And then even if we are supposed to have a dialogue about it, because the other person is feeling like this expectation is way beyond me, it is not effectively communicated. The person is unaware, and so there will be issues. So basically that. Then also our disposition when it comes to communication, our ability to be present in communication. Usually when we talk about communication as one of the major issues for relationship, I tend to look more at the connection in the communication, not what is said. Because many of us adults already have skill with speaking a particular language, whether it is English, it is French, it is Mandarin, whatever it is, we can communicate, we can use words and say certain things. Usually communication breaks down when emotion becomes mixed in our communication, where what we want to say carries weight for us emotionally, whether positively or negatively. How we are able to effectively put our feelings into words. Many a time, this is where communication breaks down. The inability to communicate our feelings into words. And because we're not able to put it into words, we act it, and sometimes not in empowering ways. So as we look at why relationship fails, many a time communication will have something to do in the midst. The inability to put how we feel into words that are comprehensible by the other person. I say to people that the meaning of your communication is the result it elicits, not what you say. So I can say, oh, you look beautiful. And if you get angry, that means there's something in how I said you look beautiful that elicited anger instead of a joyful response. So I would be looking at myself to say, what did I say? Or did I say this with a tone that didn't go well? Did I say that with a body language that didn't support what I was saying, that is giving me the response that I am receiving? Or is there a cultural thing here? Because of course we have a lot of intermarriages with culture and all. So if I go to a British man, for example, and I'm asking him how was his night, and the guy gets angry, that means there's something that is missing. And obviously we know that there are things that are missing, because in their place, how was your night is none of my business, right? But here in Nigeria, where I live right now, how was your night is a greeting that is welcomed by most people. So we need to factor all that into communication. Communication is huge, it is important, and it's actually more about connection. It breaks down usually when we are finding it difficult to make the connect in ourselves and then relate that with our partner.
Wow, well said, ma. So now, how can couples proactively address this issue even before they get married?
Sorry, I didn't get you. I didn't get you.
How can couples proactively, address these issues even before they get married and even as married couples too, that having these
Yeah,
issues?
so proactively is to first of all begin to discuss, because you see the thing is this, with our marriage, how we relate with our partners is how we generally relate with people. The only thing is the intensity, because marriage is a closer relationship. So a person who has challenge with self-expression would have had this challenge all over, not just here. So the thing is about self-growth, personal growth. I tell people that marriage has come to grow us. That's one of the major or highest purpose of marriage, that we grow, we develop, become better human beings so that we can serve our world in a better way. Now, when people become proactive, they take initiative to note that, oh, I notice that when I get angry, instead of saying why I am angry or what I am angry with, I'm not even aware of why I'm angry. I just know that I react this way. So immediately I get angry, this is my natural response. How can I begin to track maybe the first signs that I'm getting angry, so that I can stop myself before I explode, or stop myself before I say something that I will not be happy saying? When we begin to get more self-aware, then we can begin to create this, we can begin to have measures to help us. Then also, as we relate with people, because you are going to be marrying somebody, are we only just focused on the love that we have for each other, or are we looking at patterns that this person already has? How do they behave when they are excited? Are they people that show excitement, or are they people that close up when they're excited and you don't even notice that they're excited? You're like, are you sure you're happy? And they say, yes, yes, I'm happy, but you're not seeing it in the face, you're not seeing it from their expression. All these things matter because they will continue to play in the relationship. And if they contrast deeply with us, it will be a problem, except we learn the community. So there has to be a learning for self-awareness and all, and also a learning about the other person. Whoever we marry, there are things that will be disagreements within us, because we are all humans, we grew up in different places, right? But if we learn how to manage these differences by first of all becoming aware that these differences exist, and the willingness to talk through them, to continually talk through them. I tell people that if you are married and you have one or two issues that you say that we don't talk about this, then your marriage is in danger, because that's how communication begins to break down. When we don't talk about one matter, then tomorrow we're not talking about parenting, then next tomorrow we're not talking about this other thing. Before we know, there's nothing we are talking about, and our relationship begins to dwindle. The satisfaction begins to dwindle, and we find ourselves on the rocks. So we want to be able to have open communication even in areas that we disagree. That we have to learn. We have to learn how to agree without being disagreeable. And this is a skill that even a single person can begin to learn, because you don't agree always with your friends, you don't agree always with your colleagues at work. So you can begin to learn right now how to disagree without being disagreeable. It is funny because even on social media, I see a lot of people who do not have this capacity. The moment another person's opinion differs from theirs, they hit for the jugular straight. You hear somebody say, "Oh, you are very mad. That's why you are thinking like that. I wonder what school you went to." Or maybe it's because you are not exposed. That's why you're thinking like that. Immediately they begin to personally attack the person instead of looking at the circumstance or the situation and talking about the issue. They begin to attack personalities. So these are things that we can begin to learn even as singles. Then as we come together as couples, love is not, that's the growth that we'll have will not be automatic. It's not just like how love was automatic. You probably saw the person, you like their features, or maybe they spoke somewhere, you loved how they presented and all, and then attraction was automatic. But to grow in marriage and to keep your marriage safe cannot be automatic. We always have to have the willingness to keep talking, to keep finding ways, to keep reading together and growing. This is the way to help us mitigate against the way. Of course, there are other things, but because of time, we'll stop here.
Yes, I know. Now I have this question. They said there's this phrase about don't bring in a third party. For now, however, this is my question. What role do you think family, religious, or maybe community or institution should play in supporting marriages to reduce, the divorce rate?
Okay, first of all, I think let's start with family. Family is one of the best places. Like, family helps a relationship to have stability. You are able to get so much resources from your family in terms of you need help in the house, you need an extra hand. The first place you want to check is family as much as possible if you have a supportive family. So family is very important. Now also our society can help, because what we talk, our general perception about marriage, our general view about couples having problems, seeking help, and all will continue to show up in marriage. So if you find people say, "No, don't bring a third party, don't bring a third party," and they are closing up and dying inside, it's because the society has propagated that over time. And I simply ask people a very simple question. When you are sick, do you go to the hospital, or you say, "No, I will take care of it myself. We don't bring a third party into our life, so sickness will keep it." When you have a car fault, do you take it to the mechanic, or you sit with it? So I think that society needs to become more open to speaking up, but not just speaking up, because there's danger if you speak to the wrong people or you speak in the wrong places. So, for example, a couple takes their problem to social media, one of the social media handles, and then just drops it there. That will become an issue, right? Because people will say all sorts of things, and if they're not careful, it will get worse. But seeking professional help should be something that we are open to. Now, when people seek professional help, it doesn't mean that their relationship is about to break or they are unhappy. It just means that they have an issue that they are not able to resolve right now. They have tried together and are unable to resolve it. So they are asking for somebody else who has a superior knowledge to come and help them with that issue. The moment that is solved, they close the door again and continue with each other. So usually the first approach is try to solve it yourself. try to solve it yourself. And another thing about bringing in third parties is when you bring in friends or family members who you know would not be objective. If you are bringing in family members who take sides, you are bringing in friends who will support your own argument in the case, then you are only damaging the relationship and not helping it. So I would strongly advocate that you seek professional help, or you seek help from religious leaders who you know also have wisdom, because of course there are different religious leaders who have also not been able to help in this area. So you want to seek professional help. But yes, at some point you may need to speak out. And please do take that option to speak out rather than keeping quiet. Statistics tells us that a lot of couples who are going through issues would keep silence for 6 to 8 years. And by the time they are speaking up, it is late. Now, late in the sense that it's not like the problem is not solvable, but they would have exhausted all their willpower and their ability to stay resilient to solve the problem by the time they are speaking up. So it is difficult to help them at that point. So speak up early, make sure you are speaking to the right person so that you can get help.
Oh, thank you so much. Now, you talk so much on the issue of communication, which is one of the problems, like miscommunication, one of the problems that leads to divorce rate. So now, you as a counselor, what are some practical strategies and interventions that you can recommend to help couples rebuild trust and communication?
Okay, so like with everything, it starts with itself. Many times when couples are in problem, they are pointing fingers. They are looking at their partner. They are looking at what the partner is doing, but they are not looking at the self. Where you want to start with is self. So with communication, you want to first of all be aware of how you are feeling part time, and probably investigate to find out why you are feeling the way you are feeling. If you get so used to it, because when we have emotions, whether positive or negative, we have a corresponding bodily sensation that comes with this emotion. So if I were to ask you, remember a time where you felt really excited, you were so excited, just put yourself back in that place where you feel really excited. Now, pay attention to your body. You will also notice that there's a corresponding place. It may be warmth in your chest, it may be a feeling of pride on your shoulder, but there's a corresponding bodily sensation that goes with it. The same with anger, the same with fear, the same with that. So you get aware of yourself, because I can now begin to talk to you and say, oh, right now as we are talking, I'm beginning to fear I'm beginning to feel a little anxious. How did I know? Because I feel it first. You feel it first in your body before you have words for it. Usually that's how it works. So you want to know, you want to become more aware of your bodily sensation that comes together with your emotions. You also want to become more aware of your cognition, what you are saying to yourself, the thoughts that are passing through your mind as you are feeling the feelings that you are feeling, because those things are powerful. If you change what you think, it will change how you feel. So you want to be aware of those things. Then now the ability to put this together and communicate it to the other person. These are skills that are learnable. Some people were able to have the privilege of having parents that raise them in a way that helps them to do that. But for most of us, we have to learn these skills. So if you're not willing to grow, it may be challenging to really connect with another person deeply, especially in the times we live in, because our times are more complex than the times our parents grew up in. We require a lot from our partners, a lot more than our parents did. What a whole community was providing for a person is now what we are asking our partners to provide: support, friendship, connection, business partnership, love, affection, attention, everything we got from a community. And so it is more complex, and that is one of the reasons why we have to be more focused and more intentional in building ourselves first, so that we can impact our relationship.
Thank you so much for your time. Of course, I have more questions to ask, but suffice for now. We really appreciate you. We appreciate your time on this subject matter. Hopefully, we'll have more time with you on a subsequent live.
And thank you too for having me.
so much. So we'll go on.
At SkyMaxi Global Sourcing and Distribution Company, we render professional help to our clients to locate factories, get competitive prices, follow up on products source inspection, ensuring quality and express product delivery to our clients. We are your direct connection with fully vetted factories in China. We also
Reach Afrique Magazine is the award-winning and globally respected publication for authoritative information regarding business potentials and opportunities in Africa of interest to China and beyond. Your business doesn't get to Africa if it's not on Reach Afrique Magazine. We are the official magazine of Ethiopian Airlines. What are you waiting for? You can contact us +861.
Bridge Afrique Magazine, BAM, is the powerful force to showcase your business to the world. Is your advert on the next edition yet? Make haste and connect with any of our coordinators across the world. One love.
If I had to live my life without you near me, the days would all be empty.
Yayugu Villa et Ligny Amusement Park dans la province de Shandong, en Chine, offre une zone de retraite surréaliste au milieu des paysages naturels. Cette villa offre une oasis tranquille avec des verdures luxuriantes, des ruisseaux cristallins, des vues à couper le souffle et une variété d'hébergements de luxe. Le parc dispose de pistes à roulettes, de diapositives et d'espaces thématiques. Yayugu Villa offre aux voyageurs une occasion unique de se plonger dans la beauté naturelle de la campagne chinoise. Venez vous détendre dans ce lieu surréaliste et ne manquez pas ce cadeau de vie naturelle. Plus d'informations sont affichées sur votre écran.
Peacock Tamba Delight, a taste you can't resist. FAM News Hour, across Africa and beyond.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board has released results for the Mop-Up Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination held on June 28, 2025. Out of nearly 97,000 registered candidates, only about 11,000 were present and had their results released. JAMB attributed the low turnout to strict security protocols targeting impersonators and exam cheats. Many candidates failed to follow the correct procedure for accessing their results, while some attempted to circumvent biometric verification by falsely claiming to be albino. The board has issued a strong warning that parents who fund or support exam malpractice will be investigated and will face prosecution.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board JAMB has announced the release of results from its Mop-Up Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination conducted on June 28. In a statement signed by JAMB's Head of Public Affairs and Protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin in Abuja, the board also provided an update on its ongoing crackdown on a widespread fake admission letter syndicate. Benjamin said of the 98,838 candidates slated for the mop-up examination, results had been released for 11,161 candidates who sat for the test. He urged candidates who were unable to access their results to ensure they follow the prescribed procedure. The procedure, according to him, is by sending the text UTME results as one word to 55019 or 66019 using the same phone number they registered with for the UTME. He added that non-compliance with these requirements has been identified as the main reason some candidates could not access their scores. Meanwhile, JAMB has also offered a detailed update on efforts to dismantle a syndicate engaged in the production of fake JAMB admission letters for a fee. Benjamin disclosed that an investigation carried out by the support of the Nigeria Police Force National Cybercrime Center, NPF, NCCC, led to the arrest of 5 ringleaders who had confessed to producing and distributing forged admission letters. The suspects, he said, are currently being prosecuted at the Federal High Court in Abuja in the case titled Inspector General of Police versus F.A. Leonard and 4 others. He revealed that the syndicate's activity
dancing on my taste buds line. Aromatic spices, a culinary delight. Peacock timbre, shining bright.
Peacock Tamba Delight, a taste you can't resist. FAM News Hour, across Africa and beyond.
Welcome to the end of our live broadcast, and thank you for staying informed with us. I am Grace. Bye for now.
FAM News Hour, across Africa and beyond.